Bobby Fischer had a column in a magazine called Boy's Life, okay? So it was basically Boy Scouts of America. And I didn't realize that, but basically in the entire 60s, the United States Chess Federation was trying to get the Boy Scouts of America to do a merit badge and to get chess recognized in the whole system. Millions of young American boys and young American girls for the Girl Scouts of America were involved in those programs, and we couldn't get chess involved. Then we had what can only be described as the Sinquefield effect. And Jeanne Sinquefield said, well, actually, I have a best friend who's on the committee for the merit badges. I think I can get chess merit badged, credentialed. And she did it. She had a breakthrough that I am telling you, at least 20 years, at least, what am I saying, 20 years, 40 years, pardon me, that chess couldn't make that breakthrough. And thanks to Jeanne's efforts, it did.
And this is so important to the growth of American chess and U.S. chess, this marriage between Dr. Jeanne Sinquefield's lifelong kind of commitment to the Scouts, as well as, of course, the founding of the St. Louis Chess Club that she did with her husband, Rex.
Exactly.
And I really feel like that was an important moment in the history of the St. Louis Chess Club, because with Jeanne getting more involved, a lot of things changed. We also had the music. The music series at the World Chess Hall of Fame started. There was all this kind of synergy between music, scouting, chess, kids, and of course that was the goal of the chess club from the very beginning. But really getting Jeanne more involved, we saw more and more events dedicated to that. Now, about 5 years later, we have the Cairns Cup, which is a corollary to the incredible Sinquefield Cup, featuring 10 of the top women players in the world.
But it kind of goes back and forth. So the point was, the Sinquefields decide to retire. And honey, where do you want to retire? Well, we always like St. Louis. Let's move over there. And okay, so what are you going to do? And Rex says, well, I love chess. I'm going to go off and do chess. And Jeanne says, well, I love music. I'm going to go off and do music. And okay, you do your thing. I'll do my thing. And then it was like Jeanne kind of looked over and said, well, the chess is actually very interesting. We can combine some music performances as well. And oh, but I really like the Scouts as well, does Jeanne. And we can combine that with chess. And the next thing you know is like we're pulling Jeanne, away from her really music inclinedness and into chess. And the next thing you know, she's figuring out, she's the scientist in the family. She's figuring out our tie breaks and everything for the Grand Chess Tour.
That's right. I mean, that's the thing about chess. You can combine it with any passion because it's this great canvas. And we should mention that the Cairns Cup is named because Cairns is Jeanne's maiden name.
Right.
So this is the first year of the Cairns Cup, and I don't believe it's going to be the last.
Well, we were following on the success of the Sinquefield Cup.
Exactly.
Okay, so when you think about the Piatigorsky and you think about these great historical chess tournaments, the Sinquefield Cup suddenly, bang, became an instant classic. This great tournament.
Instant classic when you have Magnus win it, and then right before he became the world champion, and then Fabiano have the best tournament performance in history.
Exactly.
I felt like it was history within 2 years. Crazy.
I know, it is crazy, right? And instant history too. And so the Sinquefield Cup suddenly becomes this fixture on the calendar annually for the greatest players in the world. And then, like we're kind of ribbing Jeanne a little bit and saying, Jeanne, how about a ladies' cup that features the best women around the world and sticking that on the calendar and see how the ladies would do. Because recently, it was the most recent Sinquefield Cup, we had so many draws, right? How competitively inclined are the ladies going to be? Will they draw that many games?
Oh, definitely not, yes.
No.
The other nice thing about this event is that the fortuitous timing of it. We've got the first time that we have an international tournament of this level for women in St. Louis, and this capital of chess in America. We also have this week on February 1st, 2019, girls became eligible for scouting badges. Exactly. So technically, this is actually, we had an event today where we had girls come out to get their chess merit badge.
Arena
this was
Crush.
The first opportunity ever for girls to get this badge.
Oh, wow.
So just days before we open the Cairns Cup,
Right.
we have girls entering the fray in scouting. And one of the nice things about the merit badge is it's not just about learning chess and becoming a great chess player. I actually gave a lecture to the girls. And what I love about the badge is it's also about teaching a friend chess. That's one of the things you need to do
Exactly.
in order to get the badge.
Right.
To show like community service.
Yeah. It's not like you could just become good and learn the moves and pass the test. You've got to do and help somebody else learn the moves and pass the test as well.
Exactly, and that's one thing a lot of times, especially when you're teaching beginners or intermediate players, what you notice is that there's a lot of differing levels. So oftentimes you almost have to go in and have the advanced person or the advanced girls and say like, hey, like when you're done solving the problem, you know, help your friend, help this person understand what you understand.
Exactly.
And I saw some of the girls doing that, and to me, that's the greatest honor, that when you're teaching and you see people giving it back to others.
Right, you can pass it down the line, yeah.
And that's what I love about this concept of the scouting badge, that we have so many initiatives in U.S. chess that are about getting the best players we can, and we're doing really well with that. But just the idea of outreach and chess being a game for the community, this is really, really beautiful, and I love to see it happen.
One of the things that was really shocking for me in 2016, I became, the girls, they dragged me into it, I became the women's team captain for the Olympiad team.
Yes.
Okay, and that was the first time really I got a chance to sit down with all of our ladies. We were having meals together and really talking to them about their careers. And one of the things that was really shocking to me is how few opportunities that they had to play in what we would call profitable events. Okay, so women are always playing in these opens and really risking, you know, their travel, hotel money, and all of their costs. No guarantees of victory, of a profitable outcome. And the Cairns Cup, however, is going to give an opportunity for the women that's a guaranteed profitable experience.
It's really important. There's a $150,000 prize fund, and you can't overstate what you're saying, that it's so important for women to have competitive prize funds and expenses paid for. Remember that
exactly.
Like some of these women are moms.
Precisely.
And if they're not moms, they might be considering starting family. And as we know in society, there's a wealth gap and a wage gap.
Exactly.
And women are expected to do more of the child care.
Right.
So if they're not getting paid, it's just going to be hard for them to swing.
And not only that, if you have, for example, in the case of Irina Krush, somebody who is really out there being a chess teacher, and she's got a guaranteed income doing what she does, then if she's going to take 2 weeks off to play in a tournament, an open event, she's got to weigh that against potential wins versus guaranteed lost income.
And for the Cairns Cup, what really excites me as well that you mentioned American players is that Americans watching the broadcast and following the event can say, hey, maybe I can make this tournament one day.
Right.
It's a dream. You're building a dream because it's not just prize money, it's also wonderful conditions and getting to play in this beautiful chess capital.
Exactly.
And I know that when I was growing up, when I saw a tournament really well run in a beautiful location, it became part of a fantasy. Like maybe I can play for that money one day and be on this great stage sacrificing my queen.
Right, and inspiring. Speaking of which, too, by the way, one of the really cool things about this event, well, I'm a sexist, I love women. How many commentators we have, female chess commentators. We're going to have in Russian, Tanya and Tata will do a live audience.
Okay.
But Almira will be doing with...
Almira Skripchenko and Karlovich.
Yes, ourselves. So, I mean, it's great to be a part of it.
That's right. Well, women, we can't really have total popularity of chess until we get more women involved, right?
Totally agreed.
And right now in U.S. chess, it's getting a little bit better. I note the statistics now are like 15% participation by women, and a lot of that is girls. So at the girl level, it might be closer to 20, 25%.
Okay.
But we got to get closer to 50% if we
No
want this
question.
game to be as popular as it can be.
No question.